Thanks for staying with us. And Bill O'Reilly in the Miller Time segment tonight. Let's get right to the sage of Southern California. He joins us now from Santa Barbara. All right, so Miller, you're listening to all the goings-on here about Christmas, and you say?
Well, they won. That's the face of modern progressivism. That's the inclusive guy you just talked to a while back. I'm the American primitive. That's the new inclusive. It's America 180. So I'm just going to lock the pod face on, and I'm going to say I don't think there is a war on anything except women. I prefer to think that this is a seasonal contretemps brought up by a small man named Lincoln Chafee, who, if he was any more idiotic, would be the ass outside the nativity scene under the Christmas tree. For seasonal sake. What has happened to this country? When I sing White Christmas now, I'll no doubt be deemed to be a racist. We've lost our mind. Lock the pod face on and stay low because the inmates are subletting the asylum. The only reason they don't go over after Santa is because they think he might be a mullah and they don't want to be anti-Islamic.
Listen, I agree with you that this is so insane, all right, and so offensive to 90% of Americans. And the reason I call Mr. Silverman a fascist is because that's the kind of thinking he's embracing. It's like, I don't believe, so I am going to impose my non-belief on 90% of the population that wants to celebrate the tradition of Christmas, whether you're a believer or not, just wants to have a good time for the kids, generosity, feel pretty good. You know what? I've had enough. I've had enough. And I'm not going to let
Billy,
these.
I had enough a couple weeks ago before this election, but can I tell you, that was the time for all good men to come to the aid of the country. That cat you just had on, that's the way this country's gone. And if you think it's 90% out there who want this, we can agree to disagree, because I don't. I think this is the way
Christmas
this country's
it is,
headed.
and that's a mobilizing issue. See, the importance of the Christmas controversies is it gets people emotionally involved. And then maybe they're going to start thinking about what you're saying. Maybe they'll start to connect a few dots, all right, that it's not just the Christmas tree. It's everything, all right? We're a country that our traditions are absolutely imploding, all right? And our traditions are what have made us great and strong.
Well, you sound more worked up than I've ever heard you, but the train pulled out of the station 2 weeks ago, Billy O.
There's going to be a big counterattack. You wait and see, Miller. You wait and see. All right, Miller and I were in Texas, and then over the weekend, last weekend, we had a great time. Everybody loved Miller, and, they like me. They put up with me, and they love Miller. You heard my commentary comparing where you live, California, to Texas, and talk about 180 degrees apart. And you say?
Well, I'd rather live in California topographically and Texas ideologically, quite frankly. The big D in Texas means Dallas. The big D out here means disability. Half of the public sector union guys now are stepping down at age 50 with a twitchy lumbar and riding that Wonka ticket off into the sunset. This country can't support itself. And once again, I'll go back to the election 2 weeks ago. This country in the macro and this country in the micro chose Barack Obama. And if you ask him tomorrow, and listen, at this point, Billy, I think it's fair to say if you call Barack Obama a socialist, you're pulling your punches. He would pick the California model tomorrow over the Texas model. And that's which way the country has gone.
But he still calls it a Christmas tree, President Obama.
I don't know about all that, but listen, I think a lot of these issues are set now for a generation. You don't? We just disagree on that.
I think it's going to really unravel fast. And I could be wrong. I mean, we'll know in 2 years. But I think it's going to unravel. Sandra Fluck, one of your favorite people, and she's nominated for Person of the Year by Time Magazine. And you say?
I think she's perfectly emblematic of the modern women. And it's sad to say, but single women, that's what's been yielded out by the women's movement. I didn't see that coming, but it would appear helplessness, perpetually being caught in a stasis of a 1968 Virginia Slims ad in a magazine. She's Joan of Arc. That's the way most women went in this election. I think she'll only accept the cover if they agree to comp her subscription. It seems she's in that business. And you know something? If this is the way gals want to go, like I said, Billy, I got my pod face on. I'm happy for the women. You are women, hear me snore. Everybody makes their pick. I think she'd be a perfect Time Magazine Person of the Year. Nobody more represents current-day America to me than Sandra Flau.
Moan of Arc. But that was such a great line. She'd accept the cover only if they comp her subscription. You don't really think most American women want handouts, do you?
I'm just going by that vote, Bill. I mean, it seems to me a lot of people have moved on by the vote. I heard it. The people have spoken. Single women, I think, went 60% for this guy. Sandra Flau helped him do that. Am I to now run to the defense and say, I guess that's not what single women want? Billy, it's numbers. I don't fight with math.
All right. Miller is referring, by the way, to the pod thing is the Invasion of the Body Snatcher movie.
Everything's good. Everything's fine. Everything's working.
But Miller, let me give a tip of the day. Watch the original, not the remake. The original Invasion of the Body Snatchers, not the remake. The original is better. Dennis Miller, everybody.